שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ונעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ונעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ונעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Hello and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is Shabbat HaGadol. It is the Shabbat prior to Pesach. So it has a special name, Shabbat HaGadol, which means the big Shabbat. Because we are just before the crummiest holiday of the year.
Normally I would laugh,
But it's not. But
except for the fact that we had 6 Seders this week, and he used that joke at every single Seder.
yes.
So now it's Friday night, and the crummiest holiday just isn't as funny anymore.
It's a crummy holiday.
Yeah.
It's a
Think of
crummy
something else,
holiday.
Rabbi.
It's a right. We talked about it, right? It's not only a crummy holiday, but don't you love like going back through the Haggadah that you stored and opening them, and there's still the matzah. And what's the great thing about matzah is it's still fresh.
Yeah.
It's the same
Well,
matzah.
in my Haggadahs, though, I have charoset. That's
You-
weird.
you
That's a little
have-
weird,
you have
right?
charoset.
Yeah. Don't eat the charoset in the Haggadah.
Yeah, we were talking about it, right? That the other year, I found my Uncle Teddy in there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that's
like,
strange.
It was
That's really strange,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't know, where was
But
he?
But
Where
did-
was he?
He
And
did thank you for letting him out, like
it
the genie in the thing.
It was really great. Jeff's in the front, like, make it end, make them stop talking, start the service, please. Yes. So Shabbat Shalom. And
I'm Penn and he's Teller.
Exactly. If you don't know, that's actually Cantor Muchnick, and I'm Rabbi Keller. We're going to use our real names. And we are happy that you're here. It is actually Shabbat HaGadol. It is actually the Shabbat preceding Pesach. If you don't know, Pesach begins on Monday evening. And if you have not signed up for our second night Seder, I don't think there's room, but if you don't have a place for second Seder, tell us and we'll make sure to find you one. Also, if you don't have a place for first Seder, tell us, we'll find you one. You are not allowed to not be at a Seder. That is the Jewish rule. So you must be at a Seder. So if you don't have one, we will find a place. No matter how many of you are there, you're all welcome to go to Cantor Muchnick's house. So he is happy to host each and every one of you.
And I live pretty close. I'm down in Coral Gables. It's fine.
You don't live in Miami. So if you're here for the first time or 100th time, if you reach under your seat, that's where the prayer book is. Just reach right underneath there. That's where the book should be. It should be a thinnish blue book that says Mishkan Tfilah on the cover. Not the book right in front of you, but the book under the seat. The book under the seat is going to be the one that has the one that you want, not the one in front, but the one under the seat. That's going to be the. Make sure that your cover says Shabbat, not weekday, and not weekday and festival. Hello to our live stream. Also, we are pretty sure that it is working. Well, we are thrilled that you're joining us as well. There is a virtual prayer book if you want to follow along, but we recently found out that it now costs money. So if you'd like to get one, it's a one-time purchase, but then you'll have a virtual prayer book forever if you'd like, and you can go to CCAR Press, and they can help you. You can also talk about this with us next time you see us, and we can make sure that you get a virtual prayer book. We are going to finally begin the service. Much of you were wondering when that was going to happen. We're going to start now on page 2. She doesn't know it yet, but our founding board member, Renee Nadell, is sitting right there, and she is going to come and light Shabbat candles. Surprise, Renee! Surprise! Where she sat down, and I was like, "Hey, Renee." So, not even a warning. But you know, this is not this. Yeah. So, I have pre-lit. It's all pre-lit. Yes. See that? I have all pre-lit.
Do you have something to read first?
I do.
For our concierge.
Okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. You'll all join me?
We're on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
Now that our candles are lit, we have officially begun our 25 hours of Shabbat, and we can further sweeten that special time with the words of Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei piri gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu vacharta viltanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha Be'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen.
We continue now celebrating Kabbalat Shabbat with Psalm 98, which can be found on page 16. Page 16.
Lai
try to sanctify our time in sacred moments whenever we possibly can, and so we will, in a couple of days, as we always do during our Seder, open our doors and welcome in the presence of Elijah at our Seder. And so now, like we do each week, we'll be inviting into our midst the presence of the Shabbat bride, of our Kala, with the words of Lecha Dodi, which can be found on page 20 and 21. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, we'll be standing and facing the door to officially invite our Shabbat bride into our midst. Once again, Lecha Dodi 20 and 21.
לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור, בני בור אחד השמיענו, אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו בניך, כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נשוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Kaddish, which can be found on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בהולמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולמי עמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעולמה ואמרו Amen.
We continue with our call to worship, Baruch Hu, page 28. Together we stand. אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים בחוכמה פותח שערים ובעוונה משנה עצים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 33 at the bottom of the page, where we will alternate paragraphs. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. 34-35.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 36.
And you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take Write them on the doorposts of your homes and of your gates. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha nafshecha umeotecha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your
We continue on the top of page 39, where we read together, particularly on this Shabbat, as we are days away from Pesach, the moment standing at the sea and seeking that freedom so much from our oppression, from our ancestors and our Israelite, and then us as Israelites standing at the water. We continue page 39 together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught forever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together, Micha Mocha, on page 40. Fada Adonai et Yaakov Golo Melech Chazak Mimenu Baruch Ata Adonai Gaal Yisrael. We continue with Vishamru, which can be found on page 44.
Little וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את
We continue with the Amidah, page 46, and together we stand.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekone HaKol, V'Zocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geulah Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rab Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, meditations, beginning here on page 52 through page 62. When you're finished, please be seated.
Shalom Rahama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rahama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim
So if last week's Torah portion, if you recall, I mentioned was really brought to you by ointment, because it was about skin disease, I will share with you that this week's Torah portion is really brought to you by ointment, because it is another week of back-to-back. This week maybe has anti-itch powder you can add to it, maybe some kind of another powder. Anything in that aisle, whether you go to CVS or to Walgreens, where it's awkward, where you're standing and looking at something, or it's awkward where you see someone else in that aisle, you're like, oh, that's just unfortunate. It's in the unfortunate aisle of what you need. This is the Torah portion about it, actually, just like last week. So last week was Tazria, and this week is called Metzorah, and they're usually 1 week they're put together in years where the Torah portions are put together. Bonus this year, 2 weeks of it. So we get 2 full weeks of it. And so I hope that none of you is having an extra itch or any sort of discoloration or inflamed, sort of raised, uncomfortable yuckiness. That's all I want to share with you tonight. Shabbat Shalom. So it is the Shabbat that matches up, like I said, with Tazria last week. It's Metzorah this week. In our Torah portion, we're in the book of Leviticus and right in the middle of the Torah. And as I mentioned, also it is Shabbat HaGadol. It is the big Shabbat. It is the Shabbat before Pesach. And so the Haftorah for this week that we would read tomorrow, hypothetically, is very interesting because I think it connects nicely to, it kind of knows that next week that this is the week of Shabbat HaGadol. It kind of knows that Pesach is coming. It says this. I'm going to read one verse for you. It's from the book of Malachi, which is in the book of prophets. And I'm going to read one verse to you, and it says this: Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and terrible day of God. I'm going to read it again. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. Let's go backwards. What's the great and terrible day of the Lord? And now by terrible, it says norah. It's not like awful, it's like awe-filled. It's like a fear and awe sense, not like in a terrible. So let's go backwards. What's this big day of terribleness? What is that? Yes, when the Mashiach comes, like this concept that when the Messiah comes, that whenever the Messiah comes, there's going to be this sort of rumbling, kind of crazy filled day. And so that's when Elijah's coming. Why is Elijah significant? Why is it interesting that it matches up to just before Pesach? I just talked to you about it. Why is Elijah interesting? Because Elijah is sort of the announcer, the bringer, the presenter, if you will, of either the Messiah, if you believe in that concept, there's this one person, or the Messianic period, which I more believe in, that there's this. And so God says, behold, I send you Elijah, the prophet that's coming. So when you see Elijah, you'll know that something big is coming after that. Something pretty awful. Not awful, but awe-filled, essentially. And so it says so in this Haftarah. And by the way, we're going to say it at the door. It's going to be really nice. We're going to have eaten already because we're going to have the meal. We're going to have already 2 cups of wine. So we're going to be nice and jolly. We're going to be really happy to see all of our guests or not, depending on who's coming to your Seder. It's going to be really great if the people who are like, oh, we can't believe we have to see them again. Or you're going to say like, yeah, we're going to see them again. That's totally up to you. And so here's this moment. Here's my question. To switch gears, but staying on topic. Are we at that day? That's the question. Is Elijah going to show up? When you open the door this year, is Elijah going to show up? That's the question I have for you this year. Is the text talking about this second in our history? I see lots of heads moving, and they're all moving in the same direction, which is this way. No one's saying this, because I don't think we're ready. I think if you have been following what's going on, let's just do globally for a second, you'll understand that's not happening. If you follow along just with our people since October 7th, with all that's going on, with the fact that Iran fired rockets at Israel, 300 of them, and that Israel fired rockets back yesterday, which we could talk about, was pretty awesome, but we'll talk about some other time. So I don't think that Elijah is showing up at the door. I don't think so. Is this awe-filled day going to happen? And it's interesting, by the way, I want us to think about that, and then I want us to also think about how this Haftarah is paired with Metzorah, this Torah portion that I was joking around about the itchiness and the scratchiness. But what's the beautiful thing in this week's Torah portion is that we're introduced to the concept of mikvah. This is the first time that the concept of mikvah is brought forth. And if you don't know what a mikvah is, it is a ritual immersion pool where it's supposed to cleanse you. Every time you enter the mikvah, you leave differently. That's a guarantee. That's what a mikvah's for. However you enter, you leave differently. It's either for family purity. It's for conversion. You enter the pool not a Jew, you leave the pool as a Jew. You transition from a very difficult moment in life. You enter the pool, you leave the pool a different way. It's a mighty, mighty, incredible Jewish tool. It's a tool of transition. We cleanse ourselves. And so on this Shabbat HaGadol, and interesting how it matches up. It's supposed to cleanse ourselves from that ickiness that we have from Metzorah, that itchiness or that ointment joke, but it's supposed to transition us and clean us. And so here's my question for all of us right now. We're mixing these concepts of Elijah's coming, we're not sure of that, and the idea of mikvah to walk through. We have this concept also we just talked about of michamocha, of the sea opening up. Some people believe, by the way, that sea was a mikvah, that the Israelites were one people when they were in Egypt, and they walked through the water and came out the other side a different people, the transition of the water. And so on this Pesach, let's think of the transition. On this Pesach, by the way, we're going to sit together in our homes, and we're going to think about the term freedom over and over and over again, and know that 196 days people are sitting in the hands of Hamas. And so what I'm going to ask us is on this Shabbat HaGadol, this one particularly, if every one of us could walk through a mikvah, what are you taking with you to walk in? And what are you hoping will be different when you come out? What are you going to leave in there? What are you going to shed? Because that's what the mikvah's for. It's for shedding one part of us and coming out and being another part of us. What are we going to do? Not just the Shabbat, but the Shabbat heading into maybe the most complicated Pesach we've had in modern history as a people. Maybe the most complicated, to talk about freedom and slavery and what that means. And so I invite all of us to think about that, what the water will do for us. What will our imaginary mikvah transition for us? And when you open that door and we sing Eliyahu Hanavi, what are we going to be standing there and hoping for? What hope are we going to be filled with in our hearts and in our minds? And also, I hope that we will collectively, on this Shabbat, when we stand there looking at Elijah and walk through that water, just be filled with hope. Hope for peace, hope for hostages to be returned, and hope for safety in Eretz Israel. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to think of those in our community who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. We think of Tamara Dadi, Michael Alexander, Noah Applebaum, Gary Bendel, Tori Bendel, Joseph Berg, Carol Berger, Diane Brownick, Gwen Bullock, Sophie Bullock, Maxine Burstein, Fran Butwin, Shayna Call, Janet Cohen, Sanford Cohen, Les Cole, Scott Cohen, Marcia Davis, Mark Davis, Phyllis Eisenberg, Mona Elfin, Ellen Carmi, Stuart Gottlieb, Rachel Greenfader, Jordana Hirsch, Donna Hirsch Grossman, Ira Kafka, Shirley Kafka, Naomi Kirstein, Michelle Kingen, Patty Kitt, Russ LeWinter, Howard Manass, Isaac Margulies, Alan Mintz, Darlene Mintz, Lydia Nahum, Barbara Newmark, Danielle Peskin, Laura Petrella, Carol Porwich, Elliot Porwich, Daphne Nechavia, Julius Rosenberg, Howard Rosenbluth, Eileen Rosengard, Etta Rubin, Kathy Ruggiero, Joshua, Levi Salad, David Schwartz, Renee Schwartz, Mel Schwartz, Susan Schwartz-Most, Joan Seidman, Ned Shanloff, Patty Shanloff, Danielle Shaw-Beal, Karen Seiger, Stanley Silber, George Silver, Georgia Simpkins, Helen Silverman, Robin Koblik, Nelson Soto, Diane Spiro, David Sterling, Kristen Chesnak, Sandra Tankus, Stephen Tenner, Norma Uziel, Davida Avital, Warshager, Dave Wiener, Bobby Wider, Leslie Winthrop, Suzanne Youngstein, Miriam Yoshua, Bat Bela Dina, Naor, Bat Dalia, Yosef Shmuel ben Levi, Yitzchak, Mordechai, Avraham ben Malka, Dvora bat Sarah, Shimon ben Shoshana, Avigail bat Simona, Zahava ben Yosef ben Tzipora. To those names, we add any name that you'd like to add at this time.
Mark Reckman.
Mishbarach can be found on page 253, 253.
Mi
we have several announcements for you on this Erev Shabbat. Believe it or not, it seems like the end of the academic year. It's like nonstop. We have a lot of things going on, so it's a pleasure to invite Barry Schwartz up to join us on the Bima. He's our Vice President of Administration here at Congregation B'nai Israel, and he is going to share with you said announcements on behalf of, us.
And I think because it's Shabbat HaGadol, I have an entire page of these, so get comfy. You did this on purpose, didn't you? Yeah, thank you. Shabbat Shalom, welcome to Congregation B'nai Israel. Here we go. We have 2 remaining coffee and conversations with the clergy on Sundays, including tomorrow. Tomorrow is not Sunday.
It's close enough.
Okay. April 21st, April 28th at 11:30, join the clergy for bagels and coffee as they discuss the week's Torah portion. We have a lot planned in the upcoming weeks. Please join us for the following. Monday, April 22nd, join us in the chapel at 10 a.m. for a Siyum service for Erev Pesach. Tuesday, April 23rd, we will be having a first day of Pesach festival service at 10 a.m. April 29th. Join us in person at 10 a.m. for a last day of Passover service with Yitzchar. May 5th at 9 a.m. We'll be having a community observation of Yom HaShoah, memorializing the millions of lives lost during the Holocaust, featuring guest speaker and Holocaust survivor Sylvia Sachs. Registration is now open for Hope and Gold on Thursday, May 9th from 7 to 9 p.m. Join us for a night for women to support the Middleman family on their journey through neuroblastoma by raising funds and awareness for Jewish pediatric cancer organizations. Shabbat on Friday, May 10th at 6:30 will be Shabbat Tekuma, Shabbat of Revival, honoring the resilience of the Jewish people. Sunday, May 11th, come celebrate Israel's 76th birthday with a field day at 3:30. We're delighted to announce the launch of our new auxiliary, Am Yisrael Chai. This auxiliary change, chaired by CBI members Ali Myrick and Rachel Weiner, is dedicated to fostering a deeper connection to Israel within our synagogue community. Am Yisrael Chai vows to educate and enliven our congregation by weaving Israel into the framework of CBI for generations to come. Join us now through our website, cbiboca.org//Israel. Only 2 more. Congregation B'nai Israel is taking a mission trip with JNF on June 30th to July 4th. Israel needs us now more than ever. Come volunteer in Israel to provide immediate relief to the land and the people of Israel. And if you can't make the trip to Israel, please join CBI in supporting the Jewish National Fund USA, which is on the ground every day helping our brothers and sisters in Israel. In addition to continuing to help CBI build our 3rd bomb shelter in Israel, you can visit www.jnf.org and find more ways to assist JNF with their Rebuild Israel Together campaign. JNF needs your help in order to support evacuees, supply firefighting, and protective equipment for civil defense, enable food security, and much, much more. Give to Israel. Your impact matters. We are done. Oh, that's...
Well done.
That's a lot.
That was just page 1. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're like just $1,000 away from building our third bomb shelter. So if you or anyone else knows anyone who wants to help close off that 3rd and last one for us, we already got the official call from the JNF that the artist wants to meet with us as a congregation to decide how we want those bomb shelters to look, because we get to choose how they're designed. So it's actually very exciting. One last thing, which wasn't on the announcements on purpose because it's closed, but you should know that next Friday night, right? Yeah, the 26th, there is no service in this building. It is Shabbat on the beach. So if you're planning to come here Friday night for services, please don't, because there will not be a service here that night. The service will be at the beach. The beach service is registration only. If you have not registered for the beach service, unfortunately, there's no room for the beach service. So, if you want to hang out with us on Shabbat, come on Shabbat morning, because we'll have services Shabbat morning. So, yes, and if you were planning on observing a yortzeit or having a name of Shiva or Shloshim mentioned next Friday, they'll be mentioned, and you can't come to the beach service, they'll be mentioned Shabbat morning, just so you know. So we have all of that covered. That was a lot of announcements. You don't have any. No, because you never do. So why would you start now? Okay, we are going to begin to conclude our service. Aleinu can be found on page 282 in your Sidurim, and together we stand.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו מתנחבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad.
We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died in this season, in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing in the period of Shiva, the immediate 7-day mourning period. We think of Richard Rosenbluth, Michael Linder, Dr. Charles Bookbinder, Jay Persky. In the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period, we think of Carol Block and Alvin Fertel. And our yortzeits that occur this week, Paulette Howard, Herbert S. Asherman, Julius Bleiweiss, Rose Schaefer, Sheila Israel, Isidore Rich, Sylvia Butwin, Kermit Mead, Rudolph Wiener, Marcia Fisher, Bert Marcus, Gerald Sinetsky, Ernest Dworkin, Lynn Linder, Manya Fuderman, Irving Zellen, David Marlowe, Joel Nadel, founding CBI president, Thelma Plotnick, Harry Hodges, Leslie Stewart Sherpin, Herman Kenner, Hyman Canner, Mervyn Ruskow, Alan Koritsky, Iris Simon, Murray Austin, Kate Freeman, Sophie Rich, Maury Rudnick, Arthur Saftler, Alvin Budner, Joseph Rubin, Minnie Kaplan, Jonathan Schwaber. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time. Kadisha Mourners Kaddish 294. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ויומייכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבו מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. If you are under the age of bar or bat mitzvah, come on and join us up here on the bima to do motzi. Come on up and do motzi. Come on up and do motzi. Come on up and do motzi. Everyone's so cheery to come up here. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to come up here and stand here. I can't believe it. I'm being forced to come up here and stand here near the bread and eat it. I'm going to upset I have to eat free bread. I don't like it. I don't like free bread. I don't like bread that is free and delicious. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Yeah, next week you'll wish we had challah.
That's true. Next week everyone's going to be like, oh my God, there's no bread. I can't believe it. We conclude with Shalom Aleichem, 323, 323. Shalom. May God give strength unto our people. Continue to bless us with hope and strength and love and peace. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach to everybody. Shabbat Shalom.